This is Dirty Talk 101 Vegas, where we talk to the bold, stories unfold from the young to the old. Nothing's off limits ever to be told. With this being said, I'm Essie, aka Tornado Head, because I'm gonna keep your head spinning.
And it's your girl Carlucci. You know you can talk to me about your coochie or anything else that you have on your mind.
Oochie, oochie.
Hey, you guys, we in the building.
We in the building today.
All right, you guys. So we have a bunch of people to talk to.
A bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I lost
1, 2, 3,
count.
4, 5. I don't know. Okay.
Well, we have some very interesting people. This is UNLV's Women's...
Shouts out to the Running Rebels.
Yes, Women's Study Sexual Class. Did I say that right?
Black Sexualities.
Black Sexuality Class. Okay. So
and just for the record, not everybody here is black.
That is
about
correct.
Black sexuality.
So we don't want to hear that.
Because we're equal opportunity in this piece.
Yes. Right? Yes. So I want everybody to introduce themselves and
Let's
tell
just go around the cipher. Let's start right here with Pink.
And with the major that you are.
And the major, yes.
Majoring in.
All right, y'all. My name is Kia.
You need to speak a little louder.
My name is Kia, like the card. My major is sociology, and I'm a student over at UNLV.
Nice. UNLV.
My name is Sabria Reed. I'm a broadcast journalism major.
Shout out.
Hailing from Austin, Texas.
Nice.
My name is Jamila Lewis. I go by she, her pronouns. My major is criminal justice with a minor in Afro-American studies. And yes, I am a running rebel UNLV student.
Nice.
My name is Nicole Lichtenberger. Yes, I am the white student in class.
Caucasian. Speaking for the
right.
Caucasian people. Go ahead.
And my major is psychology, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nice.
Thank you for being here.
Psychology, yes.
You dig, and it's your boy Brooke, aka Brooksy Hustle, in the building. You already know. And I'm an interdisciplinary studies major in a major way.
In a major
Yeah, it is.
Right.
We out here in Las
to
Vegas.
Brooksy.
Las Vegas, baby, what's happening?
Brooksy on the show a couple times. Welcome back, Brooksy. Welcome
Yes,
everyone.
a veteran
Thank you guys
in the
for
building
being
here.
today. So before we even get started, though, I just want to give shout out to Brooksy for the spread. Can you guys give it up to Brooksy for the spread?
Yes.
He had treats for cheeks.
We got cookies, Rice Krispies, bonbons,
And all the
grills.
Earlier,
Y'all
I was in the
haven't
kitchen.
seen
I heard a bunch of fucking oohing and ahhing. I don't know what's going on out there. What are you doing?
Yes.
BGedibles.com, baby. BGedibles.com.
Yeah, with Halloween coming up, this is what everybody's spread should be looking like, especially these candy grills.
If you guys want to see the pictures, sorry, smoke break. If you guys want to see the pictures, check it out on Facebook. I'm going to post them later on after this show.
Dirty Talk 101 Vegas. Check us out.
You guys
The
know
pictures
the
will be
Facebook. I'm
everywhere.
going to just say Facebook. Y'all know it's Dirty Talk 101.
Oh, shoot. All right. So thank you guys for joining us on this special day with the scholars. I call you guys the scholars of UNLV. That's what I was telling everybody. So thank you again. Every week before we start like really getting into the major topics that we're going to talk about, we have a lusty lexicon of the day, sexy word of the day. It could be a fetish. It could be
Ew, fetish.
all kind of different things. But I'm going to give you guys the name, and what I want you guys to do is just guess off the top of your head.
Figure it out.
What it could possibly mean. I don't want, you don't have to think hard on it. Just, whatever first thing comes to your head. So I'm going to let Carly say this word because it's a little more difficult.
All right. So, okay, this was
She said it so perfectly.
All right. So it was catratrophilia.
Say that faster.
Catratrophilia.
Catratrophilia. Okay, we'll start with you. Boop.
Catratrophilia? What
Yes.
I think it means?
Yes, just off the top of your head. It's a fetish.
Catratrophilia.
The first thing that came to my head is somebody trying to fill on me. I don't know why, but
Somebody trying to fill on you.
That's
Okay.
the first thing in my
Catrophilia.
head.
That's the philia part. Okay, you.
I get cat as in like vagina cat. That's it.
So something that has to do with the kitty cat.
Yeah.
And having a fetish with filling on your cat?
Mm-hmm.
That would be
She
somebody
said
who likes to play with the pussy.
Cat.
That's somebody who likes to play with the pussy. A fetish on playing with the pussy. We don't need to have that. That is a fetish. What do you think?
Catrophilia. Maybe it's something with your head. So maybe it's like a fetish of the head or something.
That's the closest one, kind of. Because she's trying to go to the Greek. I see what you did right there. Yes, she tried to go to the Greek of it. That's what she did.
Trying.
Okay, Nicole.
Oh my gosh, I thought of something robotic. I don't know, like
Catrophilia.
cachuchon, like you know,
Catrophilia.
some sort of
Like an Autobot.
robotic fetishism. I'm not.
Okay.
Like a transformer, like a
Ricky,
Tron.
Yeah.
Ricky,
No,
what you thought
like
this
it's trying to
was?
catch something.
What you thought this word was, boy?
I want to say like a neck.
A neck.
Like a weird, like, I don't know.
You're
some
trying to
weird-
go to Greek too, but you guys can't figure it out. I know. I wasn't able to figure it out before I read the definition either. But you guys.
We
were
all
close,
have this
probably.
fetish.
Okay. What about
We
what about
all
you?
have this fetish.
Okay, then it's not
What did you think it was? You know what it is, but what did you think it was when you first read it?
When I first read it, I read the definition, so kind of worked backwards. So I already had the meaning.
Right.
Then I got the word. I was like, what? So yeah,
All right. What? All right.
it's somebody basically who likes to fuck in front of the mirror, or just
That's why I think you went with head because
Mental.
In like for the Greek of it would be like face of the mirror or whatever, something like that. So catrophilia is when you're looking into the mirror and having sex in front of a mirror that turns you on.
That's really self-absorbed.
That's really nice.
Maybe.
You guys all got that fetish? Didn't even know it.
Hey, my bedroom set up that way. Why you playing?
I love when you go to those one hotels and they have it on top
On
of
the
the
ceiling?
roof.
I used to have that fetish.
Now.
Now.
Oh, wow.
That shit is
The
hot.
Del
Where is
Mar
it? Yes, can you
Hotel
give me
was
It
the
also-
best.
Wow, she just said it. Del Mar Hotel.
Del
on top
Mar
of Del
Motel
Mar
was the
Hotel.
best. It had mirrors on the roof, on the
Had?
side.
Past
It's
tense.
not there no more. It's
Aw.
no.
Got some veterans in the.
And it was it was like 3 hours. You could rent it for 3 hours.
3 hours?
Or 1 hour.
Oh,
or
boy.
yeah.
They were not playing. Come to
Like, how long do you need?
But maybe you know depends on if you're.
That's an idea for Vegas though. Fetish hotel, make one. Ooh, every room's a fetish. Ooh,
You got to go online
like the
for that
artisan.
shit.
that's not like the artisan because the artisan is like
You got to go online
Keenan
for that
Smith.
shit. There's like little back alleys.
little back alleys.
Uh-oh.
We need to know about this. Fuck that.
I'm not trying to hang out with you.
That sounds
Dangerous.
Not in
Aye,
the
no,
online back
dirty.
alley, you know.
Hey.
All right,
That's
guys.
not my sensitive side.
Ladies, I should say. What got you guys into this class? Like, what sparked your interest to even start this study of basically yourselves, in the most part, for women's studies, sexual studies? What got you into it?
I don't know. I was just like kind of interested after I read the paper. I was just a little interested in black sexual politics because I'm black, and that's not the only reason though. But I just wanted to learn a little more about what's going on in today's society,
About sex?
about sex in general, about what everybody else is doing. Do we have the same views?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or if there's anything you're doing wrong type deal? Does
Yeah,
that?
shit like
'cause
that,
I would
yeah.
want to know. Okay.
Yeah.
You?
For me, I take any class that has black in it. If
Oh,
it has
okay.
African American, if it has black, if it has,
All right.
I'm there. Urban,
Urban.
I'm there.
That's what's up.
So.
Awesome. And what
Yeah.
what got you into this?
As I said, Afro-American Studies and African-American Studies of the Diaspora is my minor. So, like Sabria, anything that's black, I'm with it. But also, I wanted to talk about, the governance around black sexuality itself. Like, who controls what can be seen and what cannot be seen, and what's right and what's wrong within the black sexuality, and what makes something more vulgar than other things in comparison to people of other ethnicities. So
I
that's
love
why.
you for that. Awesome. And you? What got you
Okay,
into
so
this?
honestly, when I didn't know what classes I could pick. They said 300 to 400. There was A to Z. I went through them. This was called contemporary something. It was not called African American sexuality or.
That's what he said.
And I was like, oh, but it talked about there was sex and stuff, and I was like, oh, I can talk about sex all day. I'm cool with whatever. I didn't think nothing when I got to class,
Yeah.
right? But I was like. But once they named it, and then I was like, oh, only other white dude was in class with me, and he ain't there no more. But I was like, he's a little whiter than me. I can. He couldn't. He was like, "Oh, my name," and he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna be gone."
He's done. She looked at him like, he's done, son.
And look, I picked the class, and whenever I pick a class, I think it's for a reason. I don't know why, but I'm not going to drop it because I'm the only white person.
Right.
So, and I'm here to learn. I'm taking psychology. I might need to know. I didn't know there was a difference in sex anyway, so I'm like,
oh my god,
cool. Let me see. And then I'm a little quiet in class, but
oh my god, that was the best thing you could have did for psychology. I love you for that. Awesome.
Yeah, because you don't know who your patients are going to be.
Exactly.
Right, and I'm not.
Give you a better understanding.
I've been raised around everybody, so I'm cool with the class. That's why I was like, I'll fit in eventually as soon as everybody gets to know me. Then, once I open my mouth, they'll like me. I swear.
I like that. And what brought you to the study? Did you take this class as well?
Yeah, because I could have swore it was the chicks.
Okay.
I did this class for sure. Like Essie said and Nicole, like the classes were a little weird on the UNLV site, right? So there was AAS 443, and then there was AAS 433.
Okay.
Now this is 433, right?
Yeah,
I was supposed to take 443.
Okay.
But you boy be I'm on the website. On the website, I went to click it, and I clicked 433 on accident and added it to cart. And then next thing you know, I'm up in here, and I tried to go to the 443, and it was full.
Nothing is an accident.
It was full.
For my degree, they didn't have 4. They just had this one only 433. They didn't have no 443. I don't even know which one that is.
Yeah, 443 was like a film class. It was something like that.
Oh,
It's okay.
Yeah, and that's why I thought this was film, because it was saying like it was going to go over film and stuff.
This
but it was like,
better.
yeah.
This class is
It's like
better.
a lot
I took
more.
that class.
Right. Yeah.
I took that
I'm
class.
already know. Everything happens for a reason, right? And this is definitely a great class at UNLV. And our teacher is pretty chill. I don't know how I felt about a black male teaching a black sexualities class that focuses mainly on black women. I was like, that's so weird that a black male is teaching it, but he's really the right man for the job.
Yeah.
Like he's really.
I have concerns too.
He understands
women.
for real.
He understands
women.
Feminism. He understands.
What? I wanted to come to his class. Let me come to his class because I can't understand how a man can tell you from a woman's perspective. Yes, I get it that you may have been raised by women. All women were around you. But at the end of the day, you're not a woman. You don't get treated as a woman. So you can't really put yourself in a woman's shoes to be teaching about women, in my opinion.
But he honestly looks at both sides. Like, I mean, even I sit there and watch him, and he makes everybody go, listen, you got to think outside you got to think in the narrative.
Now,
he's good with that.
He must have been a woman in a prior lifetime. Like, I really believe in things like that. I mean, that is the only way I can.
There's a few things that I disagree with that he says, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But for the most part,
I want to know about these ones.
He is pretty spot on. And I don't really say that about a lot of teachers at UNLV, because a lot of teachers there are either there for the paycheck or they're there just kind of like teaching the book. Teaching the book.
I don't want to put
No, he's not. He's not there for the paycheck.
No.
I'm thinking they're vouching for him because they're young.
He's a great
teacher.
No,
wait a minute. I'm not young. But wait a minute. He is.
You vouching for him too?
And she's
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Sometimes
he is a little bit like he was like, I'm gonna put some things on the set, so in case not everybody in here understands what we're talking. Why didn't he just say in case the white girl in the back's not too sure what we're saying? I was like, because I'll raise my hand and ask if I really don't, but
I don't think it's racist.
I don't think
I think he's surprised that I'm still there and still with.
It's not. It's a lot of us black people. Sometimes we don't know what we're talking about.
We don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time.
Well, every time he's talking, y'all. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When he said goat, I was like, "What is goat?" Right? That's what I thought, right? And then I went home and told.
Greatest of all time.
Right, I went home and said something in front of my dad. I was like, something about goat, and he was like, that's the greatest of all time. Because that's what I go do. I was like, hell, you know, I'm going to come talk to you more often when I do have a question.
So you didn't know what goat meant?
No, not really.
That's so
I'm
cute.
going to be honest.
That's so cute.
But then once he said it, I was like, oh yeah, like,
He's
really?
the-
But my kid is all...
Who's the
like,
goat?
He was talking about probably the.
Well, he
LL?
said Jay-Z was the goat.
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
what he
That's
said.
not a
Jay-Z.
good song.
Why is Jay-Z the
LL.
GOAT?
Just a
That's what
I
he,
think
the
that's
teacher
his
said.
opinion.
Well, no, he
Okay.
said
Just
says
talking about
because
it.
Jay-Z gets sales, because if Jay-Z
He's
put out an
helped
album
everybody,
tomorrow,
you know.
it would still be going down.
Okay,
you know?
what sales are we counting? Are we counting the sales that they count on their surveys, or are we counting the sales that are done out of the
I
check
think
like
that's
we
his
do
opinion.
in
Hey.
Northern California
I was
when
coming to
E40
Black
sold
Sexualities.
hella
Me too.
albums out of his trunk and Too Short as well.
Hot
So
debate.
yeah, I need to be in this man's class because he would have a
No,
headache
no,
with
no,
me.
no,
Come on.
I think
gotta
you should
guess.
come. I think
It
you
is-
should
Yeah.
We're inviting you. Look,
Hey,
this
I'm
is
with
the
it.
class.
When we're doing the
UNLV, I'm coming.
Would you like me
Yeah.
to email him for you?
Yes, man. Tell him I'm coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Warn
Tell him
him.
that SC
We're
and
from
Carly
Dirty
G
Talk 101.
are coming to take over the
That's a
class.
great idea, for real.
Because I would like to even, give him a heads up. He can listen to a couple of my prior shows, maybe get an idea of who he's dealing with before I come in there and just act
Oh,
over
yeah. I think it's a
He
finish.
needs to know who he's talking
But I
to
think it's
first.
a finish. He has,
We
now that
is-
we're in like our third
How old
and
is
fourth
he?
week, he has
He's
opened
He's
up.
like 36.
But he's
So
opened up
38.
more
Okay, do you
now
guys
and
have the
explained.
hospital's teacher? WTF, like right now.
I'm upset
You have the
about
hospital's
He's
teacher?
bald, so nah.
He's hella cute. I think he's cute.
Oh,
I
don't
can
know
see
about
y'all going
guys.
up in there like.
You know what he reminds me of is
I
that
think-
And he's
comedian,
handsome.
Why
my
does
short-
Carly G think
You would
that
like
he-
him.
that
You-
she
No, I will not. If he talking shit about women, you already know it's gonna be
He
problems
was
with
cute.
me.
I'm saying he's
You
cute,
see
and
my
he
true
looks like that.
Do
He
you
reminds me of
see
that.
my true barometer?
Right. I'm just
Out of
saying.
control.
But you know what? Now he's more open and he explains things more in the class than what he started when he was talking about, like, I was going to put it online. He's never put nothing online. Now he explains more, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get it now.
And he's cute.
And
Anyway,
he's cute, yeah.
moving right along.
Boy, she said it twice.
If you want to know why I'm super duper quiet, because there's so much questions going off in my head. Like,
Well,
Hey, I appreciate women. You're cute too. Shit, I appreciate all, and I like your hair every time you do your hair different. And girl, you're so open and you're so quiet. I like that you're quiet. So I don't know about looks.
these are the dangerous ones. The
When
ones
he
that are
wears
quiet.
when he wears his grill, that's
He's just a
nice.
nerd.
Yeah,
He's just an all
when
over
he has the grill
nerd.
in, that's good.
That's good when
okay,
you got
so
your grill in.
wait. So I have a question. Do stereotypes and do personality types play into sexual encounters?
Absolutely.
Of course,
Absolutely,
why would they
yeah.
not?
Like,
It shouldn't be, but why would they do?
Marriage.
Well, first I want to talk about like sex, like stereotypes and stuff like that, because like I don't know. I think out of all of us black women, I'm the only one who's ever like been with a white man.
Oh,
especially-
really?
Yeah,
Go, girl.
yeah. And for me,
That's not true.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
that's
I'm
not
telling you,
true.
I'm 26.
and that's okay. And see, I just
She's
stereotyped
uncomfortable
you.
right now.
We had this discussion last show, interracial dating. So let's interracial dating.
Well, and I just stereotyped you, but like.
She got uncomfortable
For
for a minute.
for me with my situation, I was like, I've also talked to men who are Latin, and I love Latin men.
Ooh.
But
What? Okay.
I love Latin men, but for
I'm going
me,
to topics about this.
it was always awkward because growing up, I grew up in a very like kind of Christian home. I used to go to church every Sunday, so I was like, if
me
they're not
too.
Christian and they're not black, I was like not with it. But then, like, also, as I grew up and I kept getting bullied, and my bullies were actually black men,
Oh.
I was like, you know what? I don't even want to talk to black men
Oh.
for, like, a cool minute.
Oh.
So, like, when I first had my, like, sexual encounters and stuff, it was with Latin men. And, like,
Latin are such lovers.
yeah, and then, like, I did feel comfortable and stuff like that. But then, still growing up, still gaining my wings in the sexual pools and all that, I started talking to black guys, and I love my brothers. Like, there's not a bond like someone who understands you, and then like if you're woke too, and we're on the same page. There's not a bond like that because we're both coming from a
There's some
mindset where
woke
there
white
is-
boys out there, though.
Yeah, but you know when there's someone who's actually experienced similar shit
Okay.
to what you've experienced, and there's just like, no, not to say to discount any other race, but just to say when I have a bond like that with someone who's like been through similar things with me because of their race, or they've had their family being
Yes.
like discriminated upon or some shit that
Yes.
we both experience. It's just like a bond that's kind of
Nice.
nice and
Yeah.
something that no one else is gonna understand.
Yeah.
And so for me, it wasn't really like stereotypes. It was just more of experiences that I've had with them all.
Well put. Well put. I'm so glad you said it like that because that's very important. People don't always understand the reasonings behind why you pick who you pick. So I love that. Does anybody else want to add to that?
I love black men. Period.
Periods.
Period.
Good.
Welcome to 99% of the. I'm just kidding.
I just see myself marrying a black man. I see myself with a black man. I just see having black kids and nappy hair and all of that, and I'm just embrace it.
Is that because that's how you were raised to see that? Where you know?
No,
you
my
never-
mom told me if I bring another black man home, I'm out.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah,
Black
she wants me to explore because she never did, and she's not married right now. She's like, maybe if I did, then but I'm like, nah.
Sitting around waiting for the right man to come, boy. That's
Okay,
a long time of waiting.
Why not?
But what if somebody that did
she said,
catch
"Man,
your
explore,
heart or
please
something,
explore."
and he was not say white, but maybe
Please open your
any
pool.
other race besides black
I
came
have
to you
had-
and he showed you love and all
Yeah.
that, would you change your mind?
I have had a lot of other different races of men come to me.
But
A
did you
lot
date
of
them? Did you date them?
I would speak to them.
She
We would
laughed.
go on dates, but there's not a connection.
There's not a connection.
Is it because you don't want there to be a connection?
Possibly.
I love
That
your
might be
realness.
it. Shit, I'm just saying.
I love your
really.
realness.
It's like we can go on a date, we can
Really,
go
that's
eat.
true.
You can tell me how much you love black women, but it's like a fetish kind of
it's a
thing, and
fetish.
I'm
It is
like,
a fetish, yeah.
And you,
I'm good.
that's what you don't want though, so it's what you want. That's,
Yeah.
They tell you it's a fetish, huh?
It's cool. You can I can hear you talk all day. Like that's nice. You're complimenting me. That's great. But
That's
I'm not
what
gonna have
you
your
want.
kids,
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
what
not
you
gonna
want.
marry you.
Yeah.
Deep.
Interesting.
Hell yeah. That was deep.
But you, on the other hand, dated a white man. So do tell.
I mean, I've dated a white guy in the past. I was younger and he was actually older. You know, it didn't last too long. But, you know, other than that, I don't really discriminate. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I do prefer to have a black man because I would like black children. You know what I'm saying? I want to, like, keep it going like that. That's just a personal preference for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know, because I grew up and there was a lot of people, a lot of girls that want, you know, mixed kids because they want their kids to be mixed. And I'm like, well, black is beautiful. Embrace the blackness, you know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. But I do not discriminate. And if I was to meet a guy who was like interracial or whatever you want to call it, I mean, I'm down to date him, but, you know.
You just,
I got my
You have your
preference.
preference.
Yeah, you feel me?
preference. And for you?
I don't have a preference.
You don't have a preference?
No, I mean, my kid is white, but that doesn't mean that's. I've been with, you know, Mexican. I've been with black. I've been with. I'm not saying I haven't been with anybody. So it doesn't. If somebody catches my heart, if I like them, I'll try it out. Maybe if it don't work, it didn't work. So.
Do you feel like there's a connection though? That's not connecting when you're with somebody else, like if you're with a Mexican per se, do you feel that connection that they're talking about, or no connection, or do you feel better connection with your own?
No, I don't.
No.
Because there was, you know, Italian, there's all kinds of, I'm 42, so I've been with a few guys in my time, I can lie, so I'm not going to say too much, but I don't have a preference. If somebody I like, and now at my age, come on now, I'm not like trying to be like, oh, I only like this guy, or if somebody likes me and they show me some respect and we get along and they like my kid, then I'm down.
I understand.
So
yeah,
I don't have a preference.
I mean, I personally can relate because, I don't know, I'm mixed, so I don't have any boundaries really of who I date. I never even think of it the same, like, as what you guys are saying. This is my first time actually even hearing this. I'm kind of like mind blown right now. Like,
she's engaged to a Latin man.
Yeah, my future husband is Mexican. I am black, white, and Puerto Rican. I don't know. My sister's husband is Jewish. My other sister's husband is black. But I mean, she's black and white, so she has a different. So it's just a lot of interracial. I don't know. We never even have that type of an issue. It's just more so of when I meet a person, if we have some type of connection, if I'm vibing off of you, if you like the same kind of music as me, if you can make me laugh, it doesn't have anything to do with what their outside appearance is like. I also think that maybe that's the reason why sometimes I can be gender flexible at sometimes, because it doesn't matter to me what part you have down there. If I'm feeling you, I'm fucking feeling you, and I'm like, what's up, bitch? You know what I mean? It can go either way. So I don't have the same issue as
Is that what ginger means?
Ginger. Some people are strictly dickly, right? School girls.
And when she said he, I mean not he. You said she. I don't know
a certain community that wants to be understood of what they want to be identified by.
But this is is that millennial? I'm just saying. I don't. Is it not? Because now it's when I started at CSN, nobody did that. But then once I got to UNLV. I
definitely think that it's a new way to identify and a new way for people to be recognized in the fashion that they wish to be recognized. And I think it's more and more important. People kind of take it too far with the PC police. Okay, I get it that there's sometimes to just be raw and say what's on your mind, but there are other times to be respectful and to honor how someone wishes to be represented. So if someone's in the trans world and they may look on the outside as a female, but they want to be represented as a male and they want to be referred to as he and him and his, then I can respect that and I can try my best mentally to try and commit that.
But he has to say that, right? Because I don't know that.
Right. I mean, they usually do though. And
that's why
it's okay to call her.
Right.
And that she doesn't necessarily need to be called him to be affirmed in her sexuality.
Right.
But some people do need to be called him to be affirmed in their sexuality.
I was asked that one time and I was like, I'm Nicole. I'm a girl, I guess. I'm not really sure about this.
So you're sister.
That's why I'm in this class too, to learn. So
actually, that's pretty good. Why don't you guys educate us on some of the new nuances or lingo so that people can be educated, because I think that's something that's super duper important right now, because I think people don't understand what's happening and they get really scared. Obviously you guys have heard me bitch before about the whole bathroom thing. So I kind of feel like this is
I experienced this the other night.
This is so fucking annoying to me. It doesn't matter what bathroom we use, people. When you're in your house, you'd be like, no, brother, you can't use the same bathroom as that. My brother would kick my ass to this day if I could tell him we couldn't use the same bathroom.
And cons of that.
When your husband is in your house, okay, really, actually, my husband doesn't use my bathroom, but that's a whole nother story because I'm the queen.
Listen, first of all, some of these guys, women, wannabes, are just straight up perverts. They are dressing up as women to be straight perverts so that they can hang around women, be around women, walk into the bathroom stalls at all times.
Who's doing that? Who's doing that?
I don't want to drop no drags names, but I know.
But if they're dragged, by definition, they're not.
They're not.
Then they're okay.
They're not.
Exactly. They don't even have a woman's part, but they're still walking around wanting to be around women. So the best thing they could think of to do is to dress up like a woman.
Marginal amount of people that do that.
Yes. That's such a small amount of people.
I guess that would be the only interview I did. The 1%, I did that interview.
Yeah, it has to be, because that's a very small margin of people that are doing that.
I don't think so.
I agree.
I don't think so, because
I don't think that
you have to think. There's a man. He's unattractive. He's older. He can't get no woman. No woman wants to be around him. He doesn't want to fuck kids. He doesn't want to fuck kids, so he's not a pedophile. So, what can I do? I want to be around women. Well, if I dress up like a woman, put some nails on, put some
too much no pride, like
the 1% is
I'm gonna tell you right now that I don't believe
the one
I don't
thing
believe
She
that.
said,
Psychologist,
I
I need you to come out.
That's too much.
Confirm.
No, it's such a small margin of people, and like that's the fear baiting that they do
Yes.
to make people think that this is what's happening.
Yeah.
What the truth is that there are a lot of people that look like a straight up woman that are going into the bathroom, and people are just fucking with them. Like for instance, have you seen the senator that was at the Denny's?
No.
Yeah.
The senator at the Denny's. It was ridiculous. The person's in the shitter. Okay, he's in the shitter. She's in the shitter. Okay,
The person.
the person. It doesn't matter who,
It doesn't
what.
matter, yeah.
Okay, in my opinion.
Okay.
They're in the bathroom, dude. They weren't looking underneath stalls. They weren't trying to take your children to their white fucking raper van. Like none of that was going on in your imagination wherever it was happening. Like dude was just trying to take a shit. And he was dressed as a woman. He didn't want to go into the men's bathroom because they'll kick his ass. If you guys don't understand that, if she goes into the man's bathroom dressed like that, some dude will harm her.
Let me tell you.
And it's better for her to go into the female's bathroom. You know what? Where's your heart at? Like, we're in public. We have to go to the bathroom at some point, yo.
Get you a transgender bathroom.
It doesn't matter. A bathroom is a bathroom. We all use
Get
it
your
for the
drag
same
bathroom.
things.
They're
Stop
trying.
it.
They don't
Stop
have
it.
them though. They're trying to
And
get
that's
them.
the problem. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Do whatever you need to do.
You know what?
But stop fucking discriminating against people.
What Wild has
You know-
family bathrooms. They have the ones that you can bring.
That's not gender inclusive, and that's the
They
problem.
just need to make them unisex if they're gonna do that.
Why are they not? They say women's.
No.
They say, and then they
And
say
that's
the
binary.
So
family
why are
bathrooms
bathrooms not
so-
unisex?
Let me
then?
tell you. So
They should be
From the
unisex
beginning.
But let me tell you,
There's a lot of Europe that
bathrooms-
are.
Family bathrooms are not gender inclusive. Gender inclusive and gender is a spectrum. It's not just male and female, which is a binary. So when you just have male and female on the sign, it's okay. I have to identify as this or this. Some people are gender non-conforming.
Right.
So it just puts people on a scale of when can I use this and when can I do that. And like what you're saying is people's lives are threatened. Currently, actually at UNLV right now, a friend of ours went to a party and we're told that their kind wasn't welcome there, and because they were born male, but they don't identify as male.
Yes, ma'am.
They are they, them, theirs. Their name is Alexander.
Yeah, they just had to
and
tell
go by
Morehouse
she.
they couldn't wear heels
No, but
on
that,
campus.
well, it wasn't wearing heels. They were at a party and they're like, "Hey, I want to go to this party." The party didn't let males in. They're like, "Cool," but they don't identify.
It's all males?
No, it's males and they let in females because it's a fraternity party. So they're like, "Hey, let's bring in all the girls. We're trying to get you drunk." And so listen.
That's
So
an accident waiting to happen.
so my friend's like, "Okay, I'm going out with my friends. Like, let's go." They identify as they, them, theirs, not male. So they're like, they got in the party. Someone in the party says, stops them and says, "Yo, your kind is not welcome here." And so my friend called them out on Twitter and like, "Yo, y'all discriminated against me.
Okay.
I don't go by this." And they told them their pronouns right as they said, "Hey man, your kind's not welcome."
Okay.
Here. They said, "I go by they, them, their pronouns."
Okay. So let's flip the script just a little bit. Per se, they had the same party, and it's your party. Say it's a black communist party, whatever you guys are having.
Come
Something, whatever. I don't know. What kind of parties would you guys have?
Just a party.
Whoa, how
I was trying to say a political party of
Just a
some
black party.
kind.
Let's just say a black party.
Okay, an urban party, and you have the KKKs walk to the door, and they want to get in, and they're dressed in their whole thing. Are you gonna say you guys are not welcome, or are you gonna let them in?
No, that's the difference. Okay, so there's a difference if there's like a KKK member and who's firmly against black folks saying, "I want to come into your party," or there's someone who's like Nicole and's like, "Yo, I'm cool with you. I'm white, but I'm not with them. Like, I am me, and I stand with you. Like, yeah, you white invited to the cookout. You stand with me because you my fucking folks. I don't discriminate against people because of their race. I discriminate against. I don't even discriminate people. I don't like people who hate people.
Right.
So,
I don't associate.
But the question is, would you let them in the party dressed as a KKK member? And it's
no,
Beer Lynch! What's wrong with you, Beer Lynch?
and see, that's the difference because
would I be
they're
invited?
wanting.
Would I be able to come
But
in?
you
Like
don't,
just
and that's what I'm
dressed
saying.
all up in what you're dressed in too.
No, but that's
Because
what I'm
that's
saying.
the problem.
No.
They're dressed in this attire, right?
No,
What was
but-
he wearing?
But that it doesn't
She-
matter. It doesn't matter what they were wearing. It matters on who they are. And so it was.
But you have to know me. What if you didn't know me and I came up and said that?
If I don't
But it
know you
shouldn't
and
matter.
if I don't know you and it's still like, hey,
Yeah.
cool, I'm cool with y'all. Like, there's a difference between KKK members coming to a party.
You went to
and
the
just
extreme with
for
KKK, maybe.
white folks to say,
Because I'm trying to think of an extreme, because that's an extreme for some people. That's an extreme for them to show up there.
But it's not at UNLV because it's actually the most diverse. Where it actually
was this the first incident though? Like
no, it's not. There's literally other incidents. People are coming out and telling their stories. They're reporting this because it's more than just that one fraternity that's discriminating on people because of their gender or gender ID or who they love. But it's literally Greek life perpetuating.
I was upset. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I just wasn't done with this point. But like, it's really sad because it's like, we can't keep discriminating people based off who they are and saying, well, maybe we should just find ways for them to do it by themselves, because that's not it. Like, we need to educate people and be inclusive. Just how black folk, we want to be included in certain spaces. We need to be
educate them on what though, per se.
Well, okay, this is one of my main points, and I bring this up all the time. Me as a mixed person, I do feel like I have a different identity sometimes as like a person who has, listen to me, as a person who has a different type of identity. And that's not right. It's not fair. There shouldn't be stratas of racial equality. It should just be equality
people,
for
period.
all. People, period. We should all be able to look at each other and just see people. The problem, in my opinion, is exactly what was said earlier. It's like people are not looking at people as people. People are looking at people as like, are you black? Are you white? Do I identify with you? Do I feel safe with you? We should all feel safe amongst each other.
Correct.
And when we cannot open our hearts enough to be able to just see somebody for who they are, this is my true opinion. If you cannot open your heart enough to see somebody for who they truly are, and you want to remain,
y'all are taking it to a whole nother level.
This is the truth.
You are taking it to a whole nother level. But everybody, well, I'm not gonna say everybody accepts everybody, but most of our people accept people for who they are. That is what it is. The preference is, I don't want to be around you just because I allow you to be.
No, that's not it.
That's not it. People have I don't want to be around that.
They do.
And they have deep biases.
They just don't want to be around
You don't know that right away.
Okay, you guys, I think this is my
perfect
moment to kind of turn this around right now and kind of turn this into an actual political conversation because
please don't. Please don't.
This has nothing to do with black, white, Mexican. This has to do, in my opinion, with all of women. So the election of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, in my opinion, is a travesty in United States history. I think that it's absolutely ridiculous.
But we all knew it was going to happen.
We did know it was going to happen. It wasn't a surprise, and that's what's even more shocking and even more hurtful for me personally. I want to hear your guys' opinions on this because it's going to affect us for generations to come. Definitely Roe versus Wade hangs in the balance. I think that a lot of women's rights are on the table, and then if it focuses not only amongst quote-unquote black rights or minority rights, but against all women in general, if this affects all women in general, then like at what point, and this I'm gonna get off my soapbox after this,
please,
but at what point are we gonna stand up and like be like, yo, you don't have control over my fucking body, over my life, over what I want to do, who I want to be as a person, whether whatever happened to me happened by my
when
own.
we're in the office, that's when.
All right. Well,
but okay, I
need y'all to get in the office.
I like that answer. So I want to give a shout out to the young lady in New Jersey that recently got elected. I can't remember your name right now, but you know.
But you got elected.
She's Puerto Rican. You know who I'm talking about. What's her name? You guys are young. What's her name? Akesa something. She has a long ass name.
Don't put me on blast like that.
And also to the female that's running for senator in Georgia. Shout out to her. I just think there's a lot of things going on right now. So how do you guys feel about that? How do you think that's going to impact your future, or not even your future, but your children's future possibly?
I feel like we don't have control over who Trump picks and who they elect in, right?
No.
But we do have control over the midterm elections and things that are happening locally, and that young people need to vote.
Yeah.
We are, I want to say, the majority in this country.
About
And
that,
actually,
like,
we
I
need to
just
vote
feel
on
like
this.
our vote really doesn't count. Trump
Me
is
too.
fucking example that our vote doesn't count.
Do you
Because
definitely-
he-
so-
and I voted.
The popular vote,
And-
though.
and
I
don't
oppose
care.
that
They
because it's
tell
actually
you
the
that.
truth that because we didn't vote is why he
We did vote.
Hillary won the popular
Yeah,
vote.
she
She
did.
got
And
elected because of the electoral college.
Well, and then, but
so,
think about
which
And it
means
wouldn't
that
matter.
everybody that voted, that shit didn't count.
Did-
The
That's-
electoral
hold on.
college
That's
is
what my
mattered.
teacher told me
You know
too
what
in
I'm
our
saying?
class.
Did y'all go
So,
and look at the percentages and where those places had the lowest voter turnout rate? It was the youth vote.
Yes.
The youth vote. We weren't getting out there and voting. Yes, he won the
That's
electoral
true.
colleges, but that's because the old ass people were
That
going
been
out
voting
there.
for years.
They
You didn't
said
say
it
it. You didn't
every
say it,
year,
but it was the old ass white people.
Yes,
You're
that
right.
go
I'm
out
gonna
there.
say it. I'm gonna say it because
That's
that's
the
your
one.
right.
You're right. 'cause my
It was the
teacher
old
was
white
that.
people that went out and
I'm telling you,
voted.
he said the
And I'm
same thing.
sorry, young people of every race, of
Of
every
color,
creed,
yes.
of every
Just
culture.
not-
You didn't vote, and that's the reason why
Or you
we're in
voted
this.
for
But wait a
Harambe.
minute.
Or you voted for Harambe and we're putting in these joke ballots.
Yeah.
And not to blame all of you because there are people out there like myself, like other people I know, like my friends that go out there and vote, that go out there and knock on
Canvas,
doors, that
yes.
go out there and
Canvas,
phone bank,
please.
who do care about this. And just like we were talking about Kavanaugh, it's important because when we're talking about the governance of black bodies and we're talking about Roe v. Wade being taken away, this is so important for black women when they used to
When they're one
sterilize.
of the most affected by this.
Yes, and when they used to sterilize black women back in the day, when black women didn't have health care, when black women weren't able to get abortions or even birth control or even know the common like entities of their sexuality and what goes on about it. And so like when you're saying I'm going to take away Roe v. Wade, this is a fear, and it's a real fear for black women and all women of color. So like yeah, it's gonna affect me. It's gonna affect my grandkids. It's gonna affect my mom. It's gonna affect my aunts, my little sisters. It's gonna affect Sabria. It's gonna affect all of us, like for real. And
This
so
is the truth.
it's like really like, okay, yeah, he got in. We can't do nothing about that. But like Sabria said, we can go vote.
Correct.
We can go spread our knowledge. We can go make sure that we're knocking on people's doors and trying to persuade them, because I know I'm not going to sit here and make you change your mind, but I can definitely tell you some information, and hopefully with that information you take the knowledge and do something about it. I'm not your mom. I'm not going to babysit you with the information, but I hope you do the right thing and research into it and like really consider on how it's affecting other people's life and how it's going to affect the futures of this life in the country, in which people say we want to make America great, but then literally implementing things that are going to make America literally fall and crumble into trash.
I wanted to add to that.
Well, there's a point
Absolutely.
to that, they say.
Let me give
But
some up for that right there.
That was the
That is
amazing
the
answer.
truth right there.
I wanted to add to that. I didn't mention in my intro, but I am also the NAACP president on campus at UNLV.
Awesome.
Thank
Woo!
you. Thank you.
Awesome.
But it's important for me that I take in this information and this knowledge and that I share it with the community. Like, share it with people who don't or are not able to take these classes and learn about the things that we learn, and to make sure that the community knows what's going on. So for me, this entire year as president, what my goal is to reach out to people who are not in college. I don't want to talk to people who already know this information. I want to talk to people who don't know it. So that way when they go out and vote, they have an educated vote. And that when they go out and vote, they're passionate about what they're doing. And they're not thinking that their vote does not count, because it absolutely does.
It absolutely does.
It's our right. Our ancestors fight for us to have this right to vote, and they died for us to have this right to vote, and that we need to take advantage of the opportunities that we have. Also, to speak to undocumented people out there
Yes.
Hello.
who don't have a voice in this
Yes.
country, and that if my vote counts for 3 people who are undocumented and who cannot vote, then I'm going to make sure that they are represented
Yes.
as well. So you have privilege in this country, even if you're black, even if you're Latina or Latino or Latinx. Like, you have privilege in this country. You need to use your privilege to help people who cannot help themselves.
And for people who are incarcerated, because let's not forget those who are incarcerated.
prison population,
Yes,
shout
let's
out.
not forget them.
Yeah.
Because the black folk are the ones who are the mostly affected by the prison
Correct.
population.
Did the other day in class you say something about your mom getting a place, and you said we should be segregated?
Right.
So,
So basically what I said in class was that my mom's buying a house over on the west side of Las Vegas, which is the historic west
She
side.
grew up the W, y'all.
Which is where, because black people were not allowed to stay on the strip in
Right.
like the 60s and 70s
Right.
or whatever that time
Right,
period
that
was.
was-
People were
that
not,
was then,
black
though.
people were not allowed to stay on the strip. So they stayed, and they were only designated to stay on the west side.
Right.
Was it the West Side?
The west side
yes,
of Las
it was.
Vegas.
I'm sorry.
So if you go to the west side, there are street signs that say historic west side. You know, my mom wanted to make sure her street was on, it said her historic west side.
Did you have a Moulin Rouge down there?
They
too?
had a Moulin Rouge.
Yes,
it's no
they
longer.
did.
She wants to bring it back.
See, I know about it. I mean, I've been here my whole life.
Yeah, that's part
I know
of Vegas
about this shit,
history.
But I think that's a little being segregated. Why?
We were the first to integrate here in Las Vegas because of
Right,
these shows.
but I'm pissed when
Never knew that.
there was that stuff going on in the library, you know, like
Oh.
with the, and they didn't really say nothing about it. Why didn't they? I thought we were trying to go from
Wait.
that. I thought we were. I don't. Maybe I'm a little jaded on that,
Well,
but
Okay, that's two different questions. So
Correct.
Yeah.
right,
Okay,
I have a
just-
lot of them. That's I'm just asking.
Okay, so which question are we going with first? Why? What was your question? 'Cause
Why be segregated?
From-
you know, after all, I mean, I don't know. I've never.
There's
been
many
taught
theories to
racism,
that.
Okay,
Oh, they
After all
segregated.
what?
I just feel like black people should join
try
together.
not to be racist. That's what I'm saying. Not to be segregated.
It's
I
not
thought we were.
racist.
I don't
for
think it's
black
racist.
communities to gain
Yeah.
together, it's not racist.
It's
So
not
we're-
But
considered.
everybody can't together.
Well,
It's-
oftentimes when we join white communities, we're not represented and we're not well represented or well spoken for.
Maybe
or
I
accounted
wasn't. I was
for.
never taught that. That like.
And
Yeah.
that's okay. You just weren't taught that, but
That
that's the
was-
real. The integration is just doesn't work for black students. We always
Correct.
get
Yeah,
left behind.
like schools versus other schools. You know, you got your kids going to school, and if you're in like a say a white
But I'm
suburban
from
area,
Vegas, so it's diverse here. It's been diverse my whole life.
and your
pretty much.
perspective, though.
So-
yeah, diverse up. Like what percentage? It's not half and half mix.
Where I
It's
went
not-
to school, I went to Vegas, Roy Martin. I mean, there was. I mean,
Well, I lived in
it was
Henderson.
diverse.
My daughter went to Bob Miller. She was probably out of the 15 black people there. So
I
for
went-
some people
I-
that might be a
I went
problem.
to Vegas. I went to Roy Martin Junior High on 28th Street. I was around a lot of diversity in my.
I was too. I'm
So,
from Sacramento.
Why
There's
went to
now?
diverse
all
people
white
out there.
Why now?
I got
would be,
all of
I
them.
wouldn't want to now live like
Ethnicities.
only white people on my street. Only
We're not
like
saying only white people live there. We're saying if we can build a black community and that supports each other, that's what we want.
Yeah.
And that's not invalid to say that I want a black community that supports each other and the students and the kids in that neighborhood. We're not saying that, we don't want y'all in our neighborhoods at all. We're just saying we want to make ourselves strong because oftentimes when we are integrated into white communities, we are not included. We are not represented. Our voices are not.
why
and
is it
I
that-
agree to that too, totally, because I see it's the white man's. Like I see the shit, it's the white, but I'm not that way. That's
Correct.
why
That's
I feel
cool.
like I don't know why this isn't cool.
You know how I saw it as like growing up in LA, everybody had a neighborhood, right? Like it was like you had Little Italy, you had Chinatown, you had, Koreatown, you had everybody, right? And it was very interesting because all of those towns thrived. We also had the hood, right? Black people, in West LA and things like that had the hood. But it's interesting because now when you look at LA, ours has gentrified into a white area now. It's starting to become not ours. And it's interesting because Chinatown's still the same, Koreatown's still the same, everybody's still, Little Italy's still the same.
Yeah, they're
Everybody
segregated. They got their little communities.
They already have their communities, but ours everywhere in the
supports
United
each
States
other.
does not thrive. It does not. There's not one, like maybe in Atlanta, maybe. But for the majority, it does not thrive. And everywhere you go, there's a Chinatown. Everywhere you go, there's an Italy. There's, Little Mexico. There's always, but when it comes to black people, it's the hood. And then it'd be fucked up.
Well, do you ever notice that like white people want to come into like spaces on where black folk are and like want to integrate us and want to make us like the hood got its faults, every community got its faults, you feel me? But when you're thriving off when you're thriving off each other, you're helping each other. I know the deli right here gonna front me on some groceries because I didn't get to pay because I had to pay my rent this week. And I know him personally. That's different. But like in between a Whole Foods coming into my neighborhood, and the Whole Foods ain't gonna spot me on groceries. The Whole Foods don't know me and my story. So that's the difference on like why. It's not to say the integration
That
is
is
bad,
true.
but it's just to say like these things aren't
Dude, got
happening
the
for.
hook up.
Like,
It's not happening for me either.
And I'm not saying, but and I understand that, but you don't understand that you're still coming from a place of privilege.
Right.
You're white, not seeing it through
Supposedly
everything's over. Well, just stop it right now.
You're never gonna see, but like white folk just come from a place of privilege, no matter if you see it or you agree or not. Like just being out of a lighter skin tone, no matter what community you are, comes from a place of privilege. Like you can be light, even in the black community, you can be light skinned and come from a place of privilege. And then I can be black and I'm American and I come from a place of privilege and folk from Africa and other countries where they're black folks. So like everyone has privilege.
This is
so
live,
like
people.
even though you don't see your privilege, like you got
Well, and you know, I'm in
Just want you to
history.
know that.
I'm in history 350, the Africa. You know, the history of Africa. And I understand. Like, even I agree that the European
history of Africa,
the where they came and they took over everybody's shit, and they did that here too in the United. I think that was bullshit. All of it. I would not agree to none of that.
But I think you're taking it personal right now. And
Not that I'm taking it personal, because that's why I'm in this class. I'm just want to learn why this.
That your history class is way off anyway. They're just giving you the basic knowledge.
I mean, I don't agree with
so
that.
much knowledge.
Personally.
I thought high school did that. That's what high school gave me.
I don't agree. I don't agree with
Watch
segregation.
Colors.
I don't think that segregation is the answer.
And I'm not saying
Okay.
that.
I don't think what I see.
Like the real, like they don't give you the real history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only learning what. I mean, I was raised in Vegas, so I'm on the verse anyway. Okay,
And they work.
One at a time. One at a time.
Hold on,
One at a
guys.
time.
Hold on. We're doing the thing that we do where we talk over each other.
One at a time.
That's what our teacher says.
Okay.
So, what were you guys saying over there? I don't know what y'all was saying.
Oh,
but we need to get to the questions
let's get to
that are really important to
asking
ask today. I mean, I love the whole race topic, but we're not doing that today. All right, y'all. Yes, keeping it on the sexual level.
Can't talk
Sexual
about
politics.
can't
Well,
talk
I mean,
about
I think it's all
sex,
inclusive. I think it's all you
All
can't
inclusive.
talk about
White,
sex
black.
without talking about race, without talking
yes,
about
exactly.
preference, without talking about.
Let's just not go deep into it
Okay.
then.
Okay.
Let's
go
keep
deep
it
I
on
mean,
the
we
sex.
can only go so
sex.
deep because we only have so much time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
Wait a minute.
And then plus, you guys gave me a tortilla chip, and I literally almost died right
She was
now
over here
on the
choking
mic.
on it.
And I tried to turn it off, but it's not happening. So
Okay,
you guys
so-
got all that coughing. So enjoy that. I sounded like I was dying
All
right
right.
now.
So-
Okay.
Wait a minute. Didn't you start that whole political talk right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to
She
know what
threw us
everybody's
all
opinion.
the fuck the way off.
I just because it has to do with sexuality because I mean
Okay.
him being
Yeah,
on the
that's
Supreme Court
yes.
has to do
Okay.
with our sexual
And we
rights.
talked about
But
that.
and you said. I'm sorry. Okay. I
No,
should've
people,
done
let's
that.
get to the questions.
About sex.
I'm trying to get y'all through the script. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, there's a lot of things that are on there that we have to go over, so it's not so easy to just try and hit
some of
everything
the,
all at once.
Some of the important things, though, that their class
Well, okay,
talks about.
so talking about all of this and talking about all of the mixing and the races. Have you guys ever been in a interracial relationship?
No, we talked about that
Yeah, we
already.
did.
So we need to talk about
we talked about
the
was-
first experience you had in sex. What was the first experience?
Yeah. That's what.
Please.
My first sexual experience was disappointing.
Oh no!
Why? What happened? Were you uneducated when you had your first
okay.
experience?
I was uneducated. He was also a friend, so I was just like, "Can you do me a favor?"
Oh boy.
And he was like, "What do you mean? What are you asking?" I was like, "Can you take my virginity?"
Oh. Wow.
And
You asked him that?
I asked him that, and he was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm dead serious."
Yeah. Right.
And so that Wednesday we organized that I would wear a skirt, and I wore a skirt.
Organized
I wore a skirt every Wednesday.
There was a plan?
And we got it.
I love this woman. Yes.
Well, I'm scared.
You know you get in the business when she come with the skirt.
Before I have a choking episode.
I always come with the skirt. Yep, you already know what's going down.
Yep. When he see me and I got the skirt on, you know.
Pull up.
You know.
How you guys planned?
That was the answer to that?
Yeah.
That was my first sexual.
That was her first experience. She was like, "What's up? What's happening?"
So you wore a skirt. Wait,
Can you do me a favor?
Can you do me a favor?
I asked the homie, "Can you do me
Yo,
a favor?"
ladies, that works.
So he showed up.
I am trying to
and
be
then
cute.
What?
You should have just asked, "Can you do me a favor?"
How old were you?
I was a freshman in high school. I had just moved to Vegas.
15?
Before I even moved to Vegas, I was already ready. You know, I was just waiting.
She was like tired of waiting. She was like, "Can you do me a favor?
Hurry up.
Y'all ain't kept the. I done put on lipstick. I done wore
Stay where I was at.
I done done wore the short skirts a couple of Wednesdays.
Oh my God.
Do me a favor.
Look at Rick's face though.
Do me a solid. For real, solid.
I asked the homie to do me a favor, and he did me a favor. And then,
How many favors after that did you
well,
do?
then he was like, then he said, no, then he said,
Right.
We talking about the first encounter. That's all she asked. Can I get a favor?
Yes.
Homie, hold something.
No. I had forgot that we had already talked about whether or not they had been with somebody of another race. So then we got to what was the first sexual
We
encounter.
didn't ask
That was
him
her.
though, right?
Yeah, I want to know from a guy's perspective. What was
Yeah,
your
guys'
first sexual
perspective.
encounter?
Yeah.
Brooksy.
So there was this girl that I had a really big crush on. She might have been a little older than me. I can't remember. But we didn't have anywhere to go, you know. And she really liked me. I really liked her. I was really, we both wanted to have sex, you know. And when we was in middle school, it was maybe 7th, 8th grade. Yeah, I was maybe 13 at the time, 12, 13. And basically, we went to the movies. We went to the movies. What?
It's all right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm saying, it went down at the movie theaters. Because, when you're that young, you can only go to the
Skating
movie
rink
theaters.
or the movie
Yeah,
theater?
the movie theaters. So it went down.
Which one?
And I was with her for a while,
Overnight
too.
skate.
We dated
Shout out
for
to
2
overnight
years.
skate.
Yeah. We was in love, but yeah. I swear. It was it was good. Yeah. It was chill, It was very chill. And surprising because where I was coming from and everything, people were not having those kind of stories, I just got lucky. That's all it was. I just got lucky at having somebody like me the same time I liked them. That's all it was.
Your story was amazing.
yeah, that was really cute.
It was.
Wait a minute, though. We
Okay,
didn't ask.
like a
I don't
movie
think
and
we
shit?
asked if you've ever been in an interracial.
We did. No, we did. We did.
No, we
Yeah.
didn't.
Damn, nigga.
Yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
Damn.
He didn't speak much at all.
I
We
have.
were all talking.
I've been with all kinds of women, but I agree.
Asian,
I agree
persuasion.
with the same philosophy. I think that I would like to settle down with a black woman, and have black kids, and but the biggest thing that I look at is that
real?
we're already a race that's at a down, right? We're
Hell no, that's just what they want you to think.
No, I think so. In America, we definitely have.
We don't die, we multiply.
I think so. As America, I think so. And so I think that we have to keep our race going. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't, and we're giving our superpowers away. We give our melanin away, and we give all of our for real. We give our stuff away. And it's why? Everybody else is in their own lane. Italians, give it Italians.
Yeah.
You go to
That is the
white
reason
neighborhoods,
why-
they give white. You know what I'm saying? You go
You're adopting them
into
babies.
Chinese, and you're Chinese. It's all that. So I just feel like what is wrong with a black woman?
So where do I fit in all of this? Because
You're mixed already.
You have a mixed opinion.
I identify as an Afro-Latina.
And so you identify.
That's my true identity. So if somebody asks me,
Yeah.
what do you identify as? I would say I'm black. And they say, what do you identify as? I say, I'm an Afro-Latina.
But you see what
But
you
that's
said.
good.
But
You said I'm black, period.
Yeah.
And it's not to discredit the other
But because I claim my blackness.
Yeah, and that's
I'm
what
not
I'm
like how I'm not making fun of you Dominicans. Y'all motherfuckers be black as fuck and be like, I ain't black. Bitch, you black. You black. I don't give a fuck what you say right now.
Latina.
You black.
And that's
And you know what? Ricans too. We do it too. Some of y'all, not as much as the Dominicans. A Puerto Rican will call you a nigga in a heartbeat. They just with it like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean.
I'm saying most Puerto Ricans understand and connect their Afro-Caribbean heritage because they have to. Because if you're really in Puerto Rico, if you're in San Juan,
That's what's up.
they look like y'all. They don't look like me. You know what I mean? They don't, this is real talk. You know what I mean? If you're in Belize,
I know about Belize.
if you're in Belize, they
black.
They
There's a lot of black
black.
Belizeans. They all in
They
California.
black. They black.
And
If you're in Costa Rica,
It's a lot of
You're
black
right. You're right.
And that's what we're saying
love
is
it.
that you connect with us on a diaspora level, in which you're forever our you're forever our sister.
I'm black no matter what.
That's what we're saying.
No
You're
matter-
forever our sister, no matter what.
Okay, but my point is when it comes to love and
This is a long
relationships
episode.
and sex,
For real.
I don't know. It's not. I don't have that same disconnection of for instance, a Mexican, I don't see him as not a part of my struggle. I don't see him as separate.
I think it's because you also have that connection with their struggle.
Your
Because
name is
we are black and we're connected with our.
So where does the line
your
draw?
first experience with sex? What was yours? We never got to you or anybody else.
Or anybody else.
We got to.
Well, because the conversation goes where it goes. We try to have a
let's stay on topic.
We need a
The
direct.
first encounter of sex is the question right now.
The worst or the
The first encounter of sex is just what we need to stay on.
All right, well, I was actually like 13. You know, I was in Ohio. I didn't move to LA until I was 15. So I was in Ohio at this time. And, you know, my homegirl had started, you know, fucking before me. She, you know, I don't know, she was telling me about it. And I'm like, okay, so I wanted to try it. But anyway, she introduced me to her friend. And he was like real cute. And I was just like, I don't know. We just did that shit, you know. Safe sex, of course, is the best sex, but, you know.
Were you educated?
Did you guys have safe sex?
Nobody educated me. My sister had a baby at 13 years old,
Oh,
so
shit.
that was the only education I ever had. You feel me?
Was not to get pregnant or to get pregnant?
The only education I had, was that she
that
that
happened.
That it happened in general.
Good Lord. What a bad.
That's all you
that's
Man,
if I would have saw that, I probably would have never had sex. But
Right.
your first experience?
My first experience?
Yes.
I was 16. I waited because everybody else didn't. So 16, and it was a dude that grew up in a neighborhood that I kind of grew up in, and it was a white dude, and he was...
Dang, you were smart.
He was like 18 though, or something, and he was already... No, it was not smart. His friends were sitting out in the living
neighborhood.
room.
You just had to be in a corner.
No, it was like in the neighborhood I went to school in. Okay, it wasn't too far from my house in Vegas. 2 miles away. You know what I'm...
Okay. So it was a walk.
Yeah, exactly. But then all his friends were sitting in the living room while this was... why didn't I pass me that out?
Right?
All his friends were sitting in there while we went in the room, and I was like, I didn't even know that was going to happen, and I was like, I don't know about this. I don't really... And not that he forced it on me, but then... Oh, man. And it was like, he came out and he was like, yeah, and all his friends were laughing, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
this doesn't sound like a good experience.
I didn't really plan on none of that happening. I thought I was coming over to hang out because I hang out, you know, so it was, and then I didn't have sex again until I was 18, so just because I was like,
damn,
fuck that shit. If your friends are gonna sit out there and then you're like, I busted her fucking cherry, which he didn't. I mean, he didn't. What did was a roller skate when I was 14. So, if you really want to know what was to the cherry.
I empathize with you.
Look, this is a sex class, right? I thought you can't edit this. Can we edit something?
No, this is right.
No, we can't edit none of it. It's how it is.
I'm going to tell you guys about my first sexual experience because I feel like it's very important that girls know this if they're going to have sex. I was uneducated about sex.
Correct.
And I had sex with a man. I lost my virginity to a man who told me he was going to get blue balls.
Oh my
Wow.
God, yeah,
If I didn't fuck him.
Wow. I would have been like, so
and I was
sad.
young as fuck, and he was like, "Man, you don't even know this. How much it's gonna hurt. It's gonna do all this."
So how did you
I liked him, so I was like,
I laughed at that.
Man.
How'd you already know about it?
Hold
though?
on, can we finish your story? I just wanted to...
Yeah, so I fucked him. I mean, that's what it was. Unprotected and all. I was just like, fuck it. I don't want you to... Because he gave me such a guilt trip about these blue balls that I felt bad.
I think that's funny.
That's manipulative.
It's not funny.
No, it's not.
So it's like...
That shit
The
happened to
fact
me.
that he
Like,
guilt
I-
tripped you
I
on
wait,
blue
wait,
balls,
You
I
already
would
gave
laugh.
blue balls? I'm serious.
Yeah, how'd you know
I
about
do
blue
that
balls?
for fun.
and
I give blue
and
balls.
see, and
minute
that
to learn
stuff-
about
Okay,
blue balls.
your first encounter, mind you, it's your first
Yeah, I didn't know
encounter
about
of
blue balls.
uneducated
Right.
And
sex.
see, and see, for me,
That's what I'm saying. How
Right,
y'all
right.
know about blue balls? I didn't know about blue balls.
How do you know?
I'm uneducated.
And okay, well, first of all,
At your age, I didn't
they're in a
know.
whole different category than we were.
no, it's the same. And
No,
That's true.
You guys know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's-
tell
they
you
got
right
much
now.
more knowledge than
My
we did.
3-year-old nieces know more about sex than I ever knew.
Okay,
when I was like 7.
okay, but we're still not like 96.
y'all-
No, but and I get it. We're still very young, but
Yeah,
then
you
we're,
guys got the
but we're
dirtiness.
still like. And I'm 96. I'm not 96.
Y'all got
Some of
the
y'all-
dirtiness.
Okay, you're 96. What year are you?
95.
Yeah.
92. I'm 26.
You guys were in the
years
era
old.
of computers.
Okay,
Y'all already
96
were
was
blind.
And I understand that. Wait,
Computers didn't come out
wait,
until
wait.
96.
Until like 2000.
When were you
I was
born?
92.
When were you born?
It can't be.
They just
I said
96,
I
92, and 95.
Can't be right.
Oh shit.
96, 92, and 95. So
I'm
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
really?
They've
I'm
had
like,
the
really?
internet their whole lives.
Can I tell you I was
They've
born in
had porn
76.
their whole lives.
Facts.
You guys have had porn your whole lives.
On dial-up.
You guys had it. You had it. You had it. No, it doesn't matter what you're saying. You guys had it. And we didn't have that. If we wanted to,
They had the VHSs.
If we wanted to see some shit, we had to go fucking sneak into our uncle's garage.
I know what beta is.
Do you?
No, you guys are not throwback.
One at a time.
There's too many people
One
talking.
at a time.
We
One
had
at a
to
time.
go sneak into our uncle's or somebody in the next door neighbor's garage to go find a goddamn Playboy to see what happens in sex, and then nobody told you about it. It was like weird, like, and people. Am I right? If you're born from 75 to 82,
76.
70, I said 75.
Right. To 82 what?
To 82, 75 to 82, 83. We didn't have that growing up. We didn't have that.
I didn't
My
have
mom
none
and
of that.
dad were naked at the lake with parties of people.
Okay, you might have saw real life shit. I saw real life shit, but I didn't see porno, and I wasn't inundated with sex, and I didn't know about sex.
You guys didn't get a head start. I'm not gonna lie. You guys got a little bit of a head
I
start.
appreciate the head start.
I think
Because you laughed at the blue balls. I didn't know what blue balls was.
We didn't know shit about shit.
I didn't either.
Nobody told you shit about shit.
Goddamn.
And I think each of our experiences were different because we grew up in different places. Like, you know, like I grew up in Reno, and so for me, like I don't know. I think I just wanted to have sex, like what you're saying. My friends were having sex. I had sex at like 16, and my friends were like, "Don't do it, you'll get caught in your friends." I'm like, "Fuck that, y'all hoes out here making it seem like it's fun." Like I want to see what it's about because it did seem fun once you got into it.
It was fun.
It did seem fun, and so like for me, I had sex.
It is fun.
And it was awful. When I first had sex, it was awful. I was like, this is uncomfortable. I don't like the way this happened. And I just didn't have sex again for a minute. And then once I like did again and I kind of got into it, I kind of like became comfortable with it. Yeah. And I was like, I like to do this. Not for them more so, but for me.
How old were you?
I said, I was 16.
16.
And then, but it wasn't like that. Like for me, my mom scared me. My mom had me at 13. And so my mom used to scare me.
Wow.
So my mom used to scare me with sexual facts. It's not. We had sex talks, but we didn't have those real sex talks where it's like, well, this is what blue balls is, or something like that. My mom was like,
I told my daughter now.
My mom was like, look, little girl, you better not get pregnant. You better not get pregnant. If you get pregnant,
okay, well,
she told me. My mom told me kissing, but my mom told me that kissing got you pregnant. My mom told me that. And I grew up in like a middle class Trinidadian home in a nice house, 2 stories.
A Trinidadian home.
Yeah,
okay.
like,
so, being college students, growing up in whatever state of life that you came to, how do you think that affected you? Like you're saying, you grew up in what did you say, an upper middle class?
No, not upper. So my grandpa was middle class, so that's the house I grew up in. But my mom and I, we were very like low income because, like I said, she had me at 13. So like. Sometimes we were living on Section 8, which wasn't bad because, like, for me as a kid, I didn't know the difference between Section 8 and living in a mansion. I was just happy being with my mom and having toys.
Tortilla chips.
You know? And so, like, it didn't really hit the reality to me of, like, how I grew up until I probably got to college and kind of understanding, like, the education I had and why I had a lack of education or why I did have not to say a better education, but, like, knowledge that other folk didn't know. Thank you.
Okay. For me, I grew up very middle class, and I went to an all-girls school. Probably one of the only 6 black girls at the school.
That was like me.
And it was great. I mean, I didn't really understand my blackness being at that school because everybody wanted to be white anyway, you know?
What?
Yeah, like the white girls had the best, even though we all wore the same uniform, they had the best uniform. Like, I don't really know how to explain that.
It was tailored.
Right, it was tailored. They had it fitted to, you know, it was real extra.
That was all I saw. They was all cool people.
Yeah, they were cool. They didn't say anything wrong to you or anything, but you just still wanted to, like, being that young.
You wanted to be
You
the
wanted to be
pristine
them.
one.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel like you got the sex education more so being in that environment than?
Oh yeah,
per se?
we got, so our school was the #1 school in Texas. Period.
Nice.
We had tested the highest. We had a lot of money coming through our school all the time. And so we had, in 6th grade, we had an entire class devoted to sex education.
What
So
school
we
is this?
had it's called Ann Richards.
Ann Richards.
In
Nice.
Austin, Texas, and we had Planned Parenthood come in for an entire semester and teach us about sex, but they only
Wow.
taught us about abstinence.
What?
Correct.
Because of the state laws.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So we
Not
learned
because
about
that's what
abstinence. We learned
Planned
about
Parenthood's
ovaries.
station
We learned about the vagina. We learned about the parts and the labels, but we didn't learn about actual intercourse because they couldn't teach that, I guess.
They don't teach
But-
that now. My kid goes through the same thing. That's what she goes to school. She came home with a pad and was like, "I'm scarred for life." I'm like, "They didn't teach you nothing else, but this is what
You use, yeah.
Right. That's
pad?
That's what they teach now
pad?
in 5th grade.
Does what?
That's it. That's all they teach
When
you
you
about.
bleed,
Oh,
you need a pad.
Well, at least
That's
they
what-
teach that.
That's what. Well,
But
I guess
it's
I
not
didn't even
enough.
know that shit.
I told my kid.
But it's not enough, especially knowing
Yeah, it's
that
not enough. Even
kids
though
are
I-
having sex at 13.
Yeah, even though I grew up
They
middle class,
are
I still
younger
feel
than
like
that.
yeah,
I've done the interviews.
I still feel like the sex education was not enough.
Mine.
They start at 7. Honest, most of my interviews, the guys have said they start at 7 years old of having
The
sex, and it
boys?
started with the babysitter.
What about
What?
the girls?
Yes. These are the boys telling me
okay.
that. The girls are a little older. Usually they're 12, 13.
How was yours? Honestly.
She said 18.
Okay,
I
because
don't
my
know what to
kid is
believe.
14 and she has not, but she just did some bad shit. That's all recently.
And what,
You just
and
have
what's
to watch
bad?
them.
Because
Bad
she's
to
exploring.
me.
You know, and that's what people always
Okay,
say
she's
is bad.
exploring, but it happened at school. She
But where
sent a
did she go
titty
do it?
pic. She sent a titty pic, and the boy, I know she liked him, right? But he said he didn't like her. But then he asked her, "Send me a titty pic," so she did. Right.
Never send pictures.
Don't send
And then
pictures.
he
Yes.
Snapchat. It was on Snapchat, and then he
Damn it.
Then he screenshotted it, and she said, "Can you erase that? Because I shouldn't have done that, right?" So he sends it to all his friends at
Everybody.
school, and she goes to a charter school.
Oh,
So he's
God.
All right, so
No, my
she's
mom
been
told
there
me-
since kindergarten.
My
and
mom
shit.
told me you can never marry the president if you send naked pictures. So
That's a good one. I wish I would have thought of that. No.
Melania Trump.
Thank you so much for bringing up.
Well, I'm out the door. I got videos all over the place out there, so I got the lost tape.
If you guys could
Yeah,
see
I know.
my eyebrows right now,
They are creased.
my
right?
Puerto Rican eyebrows are like, what the fuck you talking about?
Wait,
Oh, you don't got no pictures out there.
Wait a minute,
Shut
yes,
the
we
fuck
do.
up, you big ass freak. She a lie.
I'm supposed to take pictures.
Sorry.
for
She
the class,
probably got
right?
pictures of her licking her
No,
own
one more
ass
time.
out
Okay.
there.
can't do it. Can't do it. I can't do it.
So what's the
So the key is you got to definitely get the information out there to your kids.
But then that's part of our thing. The kids talk. I talk to my kid. I tell her shit. Like
Kids talk to your
she
parents.
knows what I know. She knows now. Like and sending titty pics at 14. I'm like, really? We didn't do that. Well, we didn't have cameras.
You didn't have
back
cameras,
then. We didn't have phones back
you
then.
didn't have pages.
We didn't. Yeah. Well, that was when I was 16, 17, something like that. But yeah, I mean, we did it in the bathroom and got caught and something, and then it went around school. You know, that's how that happened.
So, do you think you guys desire more knowledge? Obviously, yes, right? Rather than less knowledge. You guys pretty much said none of you guys were really given the.
No, we were never taught
See,
enough.
That's
Not
why,
enough.
And not enough.
That's
yeah.
why you got to give your kid.
Not
Not
enough.
I tell my kid shit like
It's not that easy.
It
okay?
is.
Talking
I don't
to
know,
your kids
even if
about
you do
sex.
talk to your
Your
kid.
kids do not want to talk to you about sex.
But I
was a
make
single
her
mother
listen.
too.
I don't give a
My-
shit. I'm
my
like, you know
daughter's
about
18.
dildos, bitch? Let's look at a picture of a dildo.
And what does she
like,
say to
and
you?
she's like, oh my god, mom, I can't believe you're saying this to me. And I'm like, well, then
Exactly.
guess what? If you don't talk to me about it, then you ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't
so
know.
I feel like there should be some kind of like a real deal raw one-on-one sex class for kids.
But and I'm open, so I don't. Once I found out she knew some shit, then we're gonna talk.
we
about
had a
this
sex
shit.
class, like she said, it was the
That,
basic
she's
knowledge.
over here. Oh my god! Like I'm
Basic
serious.
knowledge, 2-day class. It's not enough. It's
Right,
not enough.
it's not
You
So
gotta have moms now
let's
that talk to
increase
their
the sex
kids.
education.
No, really, you know what? My mom sat me down. She was hella real. She never lied to me about nothing.
That's
She
good.
was
and
like,
she's
you
a
know
big
what it
freak
is.
from it. You
That's
are
right.
a big freak from that.
I might be because
I
I
have
have sexual
Yes.
liberty.
I love you for that.
Listen, I have found that mothers that are more open with their kids about sex have freakier kids.
No, it's just
Oh
that you're
no,
not
it
liberated.
isn't because my mom
I'm
and dad didn't talk to
liberated.
me
I don't
about it, but
care.
they were open with their own. But they didn't talk to me about it. But I'm a freak, so like
They didn't talk to you about it?
But she
no,
saw
they
it.
did. But they were from the '70s, so they were always.
did it in front
We'd
of
be
you.
at the lake and everybody be half naked and drunk and be touching each
Oh, you
other.
saw it then.
I'd be like, yeah, but
You were raised
but
there.
I was not like that at home. I would never I was the only child too, you
Yeah.
know. So
But you
saw it.
You were
I saw it, but
raised in
then when I became like 16, then I said to 18, but I still was like, this ain't gonna, I'm not gonna.
But now
After
you're
like
a freak.
21, bitch, I'm a freak.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now I got older, I'm a freak. Now I want to do more shit than I did when I was younger. I was like, ooh, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, bitch, let's try it.
Okay, Carlucci's favorite topic. Before we go, Carlucci's favorite topic because she brought it up. Do black girls take it up the ass? No,
Oh,
not
that's
this
a good
one.
one.
We have been asked that several. We have been told that.
That's my favorite question to ask. You guys know it.
We have been
because
told by
Carlucci-
several men that this is a new trend. They're younger than us, though. Hey, they're younger than us, though. We talk to older men.
I love to take it up the ass.
My heart
Okay,
leaves.
Wait, we talk to older men. We talk to older men when we ask
If
that.
a dude
It
try to
doesn't
fuck me in
matter.
the
We're
ass,
in this
I feel like
class.
he's
It's
gay.
about
Like, why are you trying to fuck me?
It's like our age and up,
why do you
though.
think
Don't
he's
be
gay?
gay.
Right.
They don't do
I
the
just
same thing
don't
you
want
do.
it.
I just want it.
They
I
know
want
they
to know because this one right here is like I fucked a white dude. I didn't really like it though.
Nah,
but
she
like,
ain't. She's still young. She still has
I know she is,
time
but-
to experience many sexual things.
Right.
So
Than
this is
somebody who's already been
this is
there,
something
done
that
that.
I've heard from many
I'll
a
give you
complaint.
that.
I was like, we
No,
didn't even get to
wait.
the question.
'Cause I
This
know.
is
Like we didn't even get to the question.
This is a complaint. This is something that I've heard from many of interracial couple that black girls don't take it up the ass. So I wanted to ask because you
I've
guys
tried
all-
it.
I mean, I have a homegirl that took it up the ass. I mean,
But
I
did
guess
she
you
like
could say,
it?
yeah, she takes it up the ass
So
a
she
lot,
likes
and
it.
she's blacker than me. So I mean, like, it's not
Do
good
you,
for
though?
those stereotypes and shit. I
Are
don't
we
do that
licking
shit.
ass? I thought
Yeah,
that was
it
the
depends
No,
question.
no, that's
Like
young
Sherry.
people shit. Only young people is going around
Really?
licking
Yeah,
ass.
young.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm
no.
old as
I thought that was the
fuck.
older
I'm
guys.
not licking nobody's
Young guys?
ass. Like,
Let me
that's
tell you,
You can
nasty.
lick my ass any day.
Nobody's ever tried to lick your ass?
Yeah, I had my ass licked before.
Oh,
but I'm
yeah,
not
okay,
licking no
yeah,
ass.
Shout out to my hubby. I love you, honey.
No.
I'm not licking ass. And I know it's a lot of freaky bitches that be doing that shit too. Like, I'm not.
Would you lick ass?
Some nasty bitches?
I have
man.
not ever licked a butt.
Have you ever
Personally,
tossed a salad?
Nah, I
darling?
Have you ever had your ass licked?
I've had a little
You have a little tongue action?
look, but let me tell you,
We're not
I
gonna
don't think
discriminate you.
I don't think it's bad to have sex in the
Don't think
butt,
you're fucking
especially if
special,
you're
girl.
having
We're gonna ask you
protected
too,
sex
class
in the
president.
butt. If you're having protected sex in the anus, like that's completely fine and that's your discretion. I like a finger there, yes, that's me personally. But like I don't think it's
She's a
gay of
mother.
anyone to like, or like it doesn't make anyone gay to like that or to like explore that sexual part. If someone wants to get their
Men
butt
are not
eaten.
having that done.
Yeah, and then some people. Will.
I
It
didn't
just-
say to have a man to do that. I said for
Fingers in
a
the ass?
woman.
No, but I'm saying, and that's
We
and
talking
that's
about
a lot
black
of,
men?
and that's what I'm saying. And
I'm talking about
Whoa.
any men.
Any
who
man
want to do that.
And if you want to explore that, that is your discretion. I don't think that makes you gay. I don't think that makes you any type of person. That just means you're wanting to explore that orgasm in that spot that you may have not known of, because there is a spot there for
She loves
everybody.
everybody. Your dick could be a
I
fur
like it.
Fraggle
I
rock.
like it.
I didn't
She's
say
down
that.
for it.
I didn't say all that.
Oh
It ain't the monster from.
So okay,
Fantastic
Sabrina, you
Four.
said absolutely not. You said negative.
I
Not
said
taking it. I'm
It
not taking
hurt.
Well, okay, well, so apparently she tried.
It was an accident. It was an accident.
Right? That's what they always
Well,
say.
that was the problem. Is that
They always say, "Oh, my bad."
She said you had to be ready, loose.
Motherfucker, you know which hole to go
you
in.
have to be on time for that.
Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You gotta use lube though.
Oh.
That's true.
You gotta do it from the side. You gotta do it from the side. There's a
Yeah.
Side, you gotta use lube.
It's like the way you
No,
do it.
listen, Linda, listen.
Listen, Linda. I love that one. Listen, Linda.
It has to be from the side while he
Big ass.
plays with your pussy.
Right, and lube. Okay.
If he plays with your pussy,
toys, though. Toys are
It's
good.
the
ultimate
If he plays with your
orgasm to
pussy,
me.
you don't need the
But
lube.
toys are good too. That helps. I'm just saying.
Anyway.
For anybody that want to try that sideways, play with the pussy, you in the back door. Guaranteed every time. All right. We thank everybody. I guess we're gonna wrap it up because we asked them all the questions we need to ask them.
you guys are awesome.
Yes, we loved you for that. Thank you to all those that are listening tonight. Hopefully you gained some knowledge from listening to the Women's Black Studies group here from UNLV. Hope everyone can respect everybody's decisions that they make sexually, whether it be orientation. We just need to all respect each other and love each other. Hopefully tonight this show gave you guys some information. If you have teen children, you want to give them some information, please educate them on sexual topics. And if you don't have the education, tune into Dirty Talk 101 Vegas. Have them tune in. I'm Essie, aka Tornado Head, and
I'm Carlucci. You know you can talk to me about your coochie or anything else that you have on your mind. Thanks so much for tuning in to Vegas' #1
explicit
talk show.
Till next time, safe sex and paychecks. Woo! Thanks, guys.
Well, that was a